before I want to start off this video, I just want to say that this video is not about like spreading hate or, you know, like wishing bad on my parents or anything. And I know like the title of the video is harsh, but I don't hate my parents. I just hate the way that they raised me and like treated me growing up. That's all. Okay, so I just want to talk about how like parents raise their kids like sometimes parents just really drop the ball with their kids. Like they really do. And my parents dropped the ball. Like they really did. And now it's up to me to like, you know, figure myself out, pick up the pieces, and just kind of like heal from the trauma that I faced. And I just want to kind of spread awareness and kind of just see if anybody else is like going through this, and or if anybody has like gone through this, maybe just give me some advice on it or whatever. But yes, so I want to talk about how like complicated how complicated the feelings are. So it's like you hate the way that your parents treated you, but then like they're your parents and they raised you, so it's like, you know, you still love them and they're like still humans at the end of the day that are having a human experience that just happen to have kids. And I know that, but I just think that, oh, that's my kitten, guys. You want to say hi? You do? Look, Amelia, look. Okay, all right, this is not about you, this is about the topic. Anyways, but yeah, yeah, so like the feelings are like complicated. It's like you hate your parents a little bit, you know, low-key, but you just like, you still love them because at the end of the day, those are your parents. They raised you, and I'm pretty sure they, you know, still gave you the clothes off of their back, you know, but they just had some really messed up ways about them and probably messed you up growing up. And now it's up to you to figure out how you're gonna deal with the trauma and how you're gonna transform yourself. But yeah, I just want to talk about how like verbal abuse is definitely real. Like, it's not okay to talk to your kids anyhow. Like, if you're raising a kid, don't talk down on your kids. You're supposed to be speaking and uplifting your kids. Don't talk down on them and make them feel little, because at the end of the day, that's going to affect their self-esteem, how they see themselves, and how they form relationships in the future, you know? And they're not going to have any self-love, so they're going to go out looking for love outside of them, but they need to just focus on themselves and love them, you know, and love themselves. And a lot of people just like don't realize that, like, you know, words hurt. That's the first point. And personal trauma. I know like personal trauma is passed down from generation to generation, and usually it's because your parents went through something and their parents might have, you know, verbally abused them or maybe like physically abused them, and so they just kept the habit and then they passed it on to you. And now it's up to you to just heal from it and realize that that is not good and you don't need to be doing that to your kids. And one example is my brother. My little brother, his name is Ishan. Hi Ishan, if you're watching my video. I love you. But I think my brother's on the spectrum a little bit. I definitely think he's on the spectrum. He never got like tested or anything, but he's brilliant. Like, my brother is actually so smart. He's brilliant. And I think his autism honestly makes him very brilliant. Like, he can take a computer apart and put it right back together. Like he takes like speakers and he like tears them apart. He looks at all the parts, puts them back together, and then even if like something is broken, like a computer or something, he'll go on eBay, order the parts, and fix it because he's brilliant. And we used to go to the same elementary, but since he was, you know, quiet and timid, and you know, he was not doing good at his schoolwork, they thought he was, you know, they thought he was special ed. So they just, you know, they threw him in another school. They threw him in the special ed program. And from then on, like, I'm Haitian, and if there's any Haitians watching this video, like, you know the word jeje. Like, jeje just basically means like retarded, basically. And I know it's like very, very mean. I know it's super mean. And like we used to call him that, like when like my older sister used to call him that, I used to call him that, my other brother used to call him that, and my little sister used to call him that, my mom used to call him that too. And like the other day I was just like reflecting on, you know, the things that happened to me, the things that my mom has done to me, the things that my dad has said to me, done to me. And I realized that like you don't need to be like saying that to your kids. Like growing up, like that stuff hurts. That stuff that you carry, that stuff that you carry with you and you don't even realize it, you know. Like anyways, back to the story. And I honestly cried because like thinking about it, I was just like he's just a kid. Like he's a kid and he does not deserve to be called those names. And that honestly very much affects people, because I was thinking about the things that people have said to me, the names that people have called me, and how it affects me. And to this day, like sometimes I think about certain stuff and I'm like, damn, like sometimes I tear up and I'm like, dang, like I didn't realize that that still bothered me, but it did. And that's a part of healing, you know, realizing that it hurt, letting your emotions come out, crying it out, and moving on. But yeah, so I just thought about like all the times that we've called him that name, and like how much it hurt him. And sometimes like he would cry and he'd get like really angry because we called him that name. And I just realized like we were all wrong. He's a kid and he shouldn't have to grow up thinking that he's retarded, because he's not. He's brilliant. I love him and he's so smart. So I called him and I just apologized to him, and I was just like, hey, like you are not retarded. I love you. You're brilliant. And I was just like, who do you think can take a computer apart and put it right back together? Like, who do you know? Like, exactly. It's only you. And like like a normal person cannot do that. Like, tell me you can take a computer apart, look at the parts, go on YouTube, research what parts you need and put it together. Like, that's what he does. Like, he's just honestly brilliant. Like, he's so smart. And like, I was just, you know, crying on the phone, just telling him that I'm sorry. And I didn't realize that like it really bothered him that much, because he started like crying on the phone and stuff. And of course he's my brother, and you know, like in this society it's not okay for guys to show emotion. So he started like tearing up and he's like, oh, it's my allergies. But him crying, and you know, him crying and just letting me know that he felt like, you know, he's strong and he has to hold it all in, it just lets me know that it did bother him and it did affect him. And I did apologize, sorry, and I did tell him that I would never call him that name again. So I just feel like when you're raising your kids, like, don't speak down on them, you know, uplift them and speak life into them, you know, because your kids are gonna remember that. And then as soon as they're 18, they're gonna move out and they're not gonna talk to you, and you're gonna be like, oh, why are they not talking to me? Why are they dodging my calls? Why are they ignoring me? Because you were an asshole, you know. Like, some parents are actually assholes. But yeah, so it can raise self-esteem issues, and it can affect, you know, how the relationships go in the future, how they see themselves. And honestly, how you see yourself affects everything that you do. Like, if you think you're that girl, like, you're gonna do stuff that girl does. And if you don't think you're that girl or that boy, then you're not gonna do stuff that girl or boy would do. But yeah, I'm not blaming my parents, and I'm not trying to like spread hate. I just want to, you know, talk about like a real topic. Let me see if I have anything to talk about. But let me see. But yeah, and I just want to like say, even if like, you know, like, even if I do have any like viewers that are younger than me watching this and they are going through a hard time, like, you know, in life, and maybe like their parents are mean and they're getting bullied and they just don't really see the value in life, it gets better. It definitely does. You just have to thug it out, because like life is not easy. Life is actually hard as hell, you know. But don't let your past define your future, because every day is a new day, okay? Every day is a new day. And it might not be easy, you know, dealing with the trauma and dealing with getting bullied, or dealing with parents that are like verbally abusive, or maybe constantly criticizing you for the way you look, or criticizing you because, like I said, like you were in special ed or whatever. Just focus on the positivity and don't let other people define who you are, because at the end of the day, how somebody views you is none of your business. And a lot of people like to project onto other people. They like to project, and they like to put other people down to make them feel better. And it's sad, but that's the way life is. And honestly, if anybody can relate, I know this video is like kind of everywhere, but if anybody can relate to like the topic that I'm talking about, just kind of like growing up, moving away from your parents, and just kind of like realizing like the way that you're raised and treated growing up was not okay, and kind of has like conflicting feelings about your parents. It's like you hated the way that they treated you, but you know, those are your parents and you still love them. If anybody can like give me advice on how to deal with that, or just talk about it in the comment section and like let me know, then that would be amazing. But if you sat through this whole video, thank you for watching the video, and have a good day. Thank you.